What is going on, guys? We are back with another episode of MogCast.
Episode number 34.
This is take 3 that we are doing this because we're fucking up the we've got a new sponsor and we're trying to figure out how to fucking,
plug it.
Yeah.
So the new sponsor is Marek Health, and we've been working on this for a while. And we get all of our blood work done through Marek. So
if you guys aren't familiar with Marek, it is Derek's company, his pharmaceutical company. We get finasteride, Cialis, Viagra, stuff like that. We get our blood work. We get our blood work done through them as well.
Yeah, that's the main thing is getting blood work done through them. So, for example, I just want to run through because I just got blood work done the other day, and I won't read this whole list because there's a lot of stuff on it. But let's see: hemoglobin, ferritin, lipoprotein, prolactin, estradiol, FSH, sex hormone binding globulin. Like, there's a whole list of stuff that I got done. Actually, when I walked in, the nurse drawing my blood was like, holy shit, I've never seen a list this long.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like, you're getting the whole panel done.
Bro, usually my people who get my blood, they're just fucking, they don't say a word, and they're like 3, 2, 1, pin me. And
really?
Yeah.
No, I was kind of freaking out when I got my blood work done because I hate getting blood work done for some reason.
I don't like getting it drawn either.
And I had a very nice woman drawing my blood, and she's like, do you want me to talk to you? And I'm like, yeah, talk to me.
But yeah, so we have a 10% off code, right?
Yeah, it's 10% off. So if you're going in, like Brandon said, this is where we get finasteride. It's where we get our Cialis. This is all obviously prescription grade, so you don't have to worry about, is this legit? Is it properly dosed? It is. And so that's where we get all that stuff.
All from the comfort of your own home.
Yes.
So you just call. You're on the phone with them. There's like Zoom meetings and stuff like that. So it's super professional. All telemedicine. Super sick.
Yes, the way of the future. So you can use code MOG for 10% off if you're just getting blood work done, which is probably what the majority of you guys will be doing. And I would recommend, even if you're natural, you should get blood work done because that's just checking on the internals of your body, which many people don't do. And, you might have something thrown out of whack in your body. So you should get blood work done regardless, at least like once a year, even if you're natural, in my opinion.
All right, and that's that. You guys know the deal. Oh,
Anabar.
We're on a new camera right now. So if you guys are like, well, the quality stepped up. We've had this camera for a while, and we're like, why don't we just try it with that one? We thought there was a 30-minute cap on the record time, but really there's not. There's 13 hours. So we're using the new camera, but we also have the backup camera. So if the quality is still the same, something happened. But we're on the new camera right now.
Yeah.
Soon we're going to have multi-camera situation going because we got to buy a new one of those. We have Eric editing our Madrid, if you guys know him from my videos and shit. He's editing the podcast now, so we're going to have multi-camera. We're stepping this shit up, okay? We're coming different.
It up.
We're coming different in 2022, okay?
We are.
But yeah, you guys know the deal. Anabars, Anna Butter drops the 17th, I believe it is, so make sure you guys get on that.
You've been going through that shit.
Oh, the Anna Butter? Dude, dude, so what happens is I get high at night, and I'm like, dude, I want something sweet. And I'm like, I have an Anna Bar, and I'm like, dude, that Anna Butter, like, spoonfuls, bro. It's crazy.
I can't believe that you can do that.
Dude, it's the only way that I can, like, get, like, because half the whole thing is 1,800 calories, and probably eat, like, half at a time. So, like, 900 calories right before bed.
Are you trying to do it for the calories because you're bulking?
No, but I'm, like, I'm okay. Good. I'm eating it and being okay with it because I am, like, bulking. I'm not really worried about anything right now.
Yeah. No, but, I mean, I saw you. We both got high a few days ago, and that was funny. We were laughing at the dumbest shit.
Yeah, no, we were.
And Dawson was there. I don't think Dawson smoked, did he?
He smoked one time while we were here.
But when we were both high, he didn't smoke.
Did.
We were
good.
We were not acting right.
But, dude, that's kind of okay, we got all the plugs out of the way, right? Gorilla, you guys know the deal. Okay. So this podcast is going to be more catching up with you guys because we haven't done a solo in like 4 months or something, or a duo. So we're just going to talk about our experiences the last 4 or 5 months. We've had a lot. You went to Dubai, and we did a lot of traveling and stuff like that. But I wanted to ask you, because I don't even know that much, how was Dubai? Because you went there for Vikal launch.
Yes. Well, I went there.
Which went really good. So congratulations. Round of applause. Round of applause for Mr. Vikal over here. Going hard. Had a successful drop. So
yeah.
How was that? How was Dubai?
I mean, the first day in Dubai, got in kind of late, went to sleep, and then I think the next day the drop went live, and it was just a few of us gathered around the computer, We had a little Vikal cake. Thank you, Hannah, for making us that Vikal cake. It just had the Vikal logo in the middle of it.
She handmade it, huh?
Yeah, handmade it. Painted on the logo.
Baked it and everything.
And we just put on, there's like on Shopify, there's like a live order thing that you can look at, and it shows the whole globe, and it shows like if someone makes an order, let's say in Massachusetts, it shows like a little arrow pointing to Mass, and as soon as the drop went live, all of these arrows just started popping out everywhere, all around the globe. It was just insane, and we were just watching the orders. Just every 10 seconds it would refresh, and it would jump like hundreds of orders. It was nuts.
It's probably pretty surreal, bro.
It was.
All the months of hype, and then boom, like that day, just orders.
Yeah, because we made the bulk order so long ago, and then there were so many holdups because of supply chain issues, labor shortage. There was just so many things that happened where I was hyped about it and hyped about it and hyped about it. And then as time went on and it got to September, I'm like a little less hyped. October, I'm starting to get depressed. November, I'm like, when the fuck is this even going to happen? And eventually it almost started to seem like it just wasn't going to happen. Like logically I knew, okay, the clothes are here. It's got to happen eventually.
Right.
But it had been so long that I was like, is this even ever going to happen? Or is this just like, am I just getting fucking pranked by the universe right now? And then when it actually went live, just seeing numbers that big, yeah, you're right. It didn't really seem real.
Uh-huh.
And then over the course of the next few days and weeks, it was like, holy shit, that was really successful. But yeah.
How was Dubai itself? Like, was it everything you dreamed of?
I mean, I've been there once before. And I think the first time I went, it was more of the whole Dubai experience because we were constantly doing like desert safari or going paragliding or whatever. This time it was more just me and Oliver for the most part. And we were planning on going to Turkey to investigate Turkey manufacturing, but then we realized it would be easier to just do it remotely. So yeah, I mean, it is like a little paradise over there, but I couldn't live there.
There's a lot of money. You gotta have a lot of money over there, I feel like. And there's no income tax or sales tax?
There's no income tax. There's something called a VAT, which I think means value added tax. It's kind of like a sales tax, but it's only 5%. But yeah, there's no income tax, and I think that's why a lot of people move there. And it is very safe if you're in the nicer parts, but it's very, like, it is technically a dictatorship over there. You have the sheikh who is basically the dictator. And there's certain things that just make you aware of the fact that, like, this is not America.
Yeah.
You know, like there was some guy, well, this is coming from Oliver, so I'm not exactly sure if this is true, but I don't think he would have just made it up. There was a guy who was caught with CBD oil, which is, for those of you who don't know, there's like THC in weed, which is like the psychoactive, what makes you high. But then there's CBD, which like a lot of old people use. You can use it as
you can buy it at the store.
Yeah, it's legal. You can like rub it on your muscles and it helps relax muscles, whatever. So it's really not like a hard drug or anything. This guy got caught with a cart of it, and he got 20 years in prison.
Holy shit.
For getting caught with CBD. So it's just little things like that you hear. And
that's scary as fuck.
Yeah. And like the fact that there's such a big party life over there, but there's like very few hard drugs. Not that I'm a big fan of hard drugs, but in the US, it kind of comes with the territory. If you go to a party, there's probably going to be Coke or Molly or some shit. But over there, no one fucks around with that, because it's like if you get caught with that, the penalties are just insane, because they have kind of a chokehold over like what you can do and what you can't do. And there's no gray area. There's no wiggle room. Versus over here, it's like, you know, if you get caught with something, you can get a lawyer. You'll probably get a slap on the wrist in most cases. Over there, it's like CBD cart, 20 years in prison.
Gear over there is legal, right?
Yeah. So it's weird. Like the things that they have legal over there, you can walk into a pharmacy and get HCG. You can get AIs. There's like a lot of things that are somewhat regulated over here that you can just get at a pharmacy over there. Cialis, you can just walk in, get it, no script. But something like weed, it's legal in a lot of states here, but over there it's a big no-no.
What happened when you were bringing, like you had bought clothes, I think, and what happened? Because I know there was a big thing, but I didn't really understand it.
Yeah, that's just called duties. So basically, the U.S. government is like, long story short, duties is if you buy a certain amount of merchandise overseas, you have to pay U.S. tax on it when you return to the U.S. You have to declare it. And I think you have an $800 allowable amount that you can get tax-free, but anything over that amount has to be taxed. And I noticed on my flight back to the States, it was like all Indians for some reason on my flight. I was like the only white person. And as soon as I didn't know about duties or anything. I wasn't trying to evade or avoid anything. I just honestly thought duties was all about tobacco and alcohol. I knew there was something to do with like if you're taking a bunch of alcohol back in, you have to declare it or something, or food items, but I didn't have any of that, so I didn't even think about it. And I go to baggage claim, I get my bags, and as I'm walking out to leave the airport, as soon as I step away with my bags, I'm talking like 2 steps, there's 2 customs officers like 50 feet away from me, and they kind of snap and point at me and motion me over, and I'm like, what the fuck did I do?
Only you?
Yeah, only me. They didn't do it to anyone else.
Yeah.
And
they're probably like, oh, you're like.
It's supposed to be random checks.
Yeah.
I got racial profiled.
Yeah.
And I walked over, and I just wasn't in a good mood at this point. There was a lot of stuff that had gone wrong, and I just got off a 15-hour flight. I just wasn't in a great mood. And I come over, and the officer is like, do you have your passport? And at this point, I'd showed my passport to fucking 30 people, and I was like, yeah. And he's like, can I see it? And I'm like, why? Because I didn't know, like, that was a stupid answer on my part, but I was thinking, like, who the fuck are you? Like, I was just in not a good mood. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because I said so. And I was like, oh, shit. So I pulled out my passport, and I'm like, here. And he's like, come over with me. And now I'm thinking, oh, shit, did I, like, do something wrong? And he's like, I'm going to need you to put all your bags up on this conveyor belt or this table right now and like open them up. And I'm like, okay, what's this about? And I start opening the stuff, and he's like, did you buy anything over in Dubai? And now I'm starting to put the pieces together, and he kind of explains like you have to pay taxes on it if it's over a certain amount. And I'm like, yeah, I bought a couple shirts. I got a pair of shoes, and I forget what it was. I think they saw this. Well, the shirts were oversized Balenciaga and Palm Angels t-shirts. So I knew they were very expensive. That's why I just said I bought some shirts. I didn't want to be like, I bought a Balenciaga t-shirt for X amount of money. So they didn't even check the shirts. And then I'm talking to this one guy, and I see the other customs officer out of the corner of my eye start to lift my Hermes box out of my bag. And I'm like, oh, my friend also gifted me an Hermes belt. And he's like, oh, gifted you. And he pulls out the belt, and that's when they start to get sus, and they're like, what the fuck else do you have? So they start rummaging through my stuff, and I forgot that I had every single receipt for every expensive item that I bought in Dubai in the front pocket of my backpack. And I'm already kind of committed to the lie that I didn't buy a lot of shit while I was there. So I wasn't about to be like, all right, guys, the jig is up. I bought all this shit. But that's when I remembered all the receipts are in there. And I'm thinking, dude, if he just is smart enough to zip open my front pocket and pull out the receipts, he's got everything right there. Luckily, they didn't do that. So I only got caught on like a little bit of stuff. But I was just like shitting my pants because I didn't really know like what's the penalty for lying to a customs officer.
Dude, that's scary.
This is all hypothetical, by the way.
This didn't happen.
Yeah.
No, because at that time you went to Dubai, you went to Boston first. Yeah. You were kind of all over the place.
I went from here to Chicago, visited Giordani, then went to Boston, visited my family for like a week, then Dubai, back to Boston, back here. It was a long process.
Dude, because I
was gone for 1.5 months.
Oh yeah, you were gone for a while. It was almost like we had like adapted to you not being here. So it was almost weird when you came back. You were here. Yeah. It was just weird. But so you were in Dubai for New Year's Eve. We went to Mexico. It was me, Weston, and Eric.
Back to wait, which part did you go to?
We went to Cancun this time.
Okay.
But rather than last time at Tulum we did an Airbnb where it was like more you go out and see shit.
Yeah.
And go out in the town.
More the experience.
Right.
Mexico
and this time we did like the resort, and it kind of sucks because the resort we were at was so my parents, they love like traveling and stuff, and they have timeshares, and I was like, hey, can you like sauce me a timeshare? Like, let me know how much it's going to be. So we paid for the trip and we went to this timeshare, and we didn't take any.
Wait, sorry, just to be clear, because I didn't know what a timeshare was until you told me. Yeah. What is a timeshare?
Dude, honestly, I don't know. I'm just trying to like sound like I know, but I think what it is where you own a timeshare, and so you have like, so let's say it's like you own this timeshare in Cancun, and it's worth a certain amount of money, but you can like trade it for a place in like Hawaii or trade it for a place in Jamaica. So if you have a timeshare, you can like.
So is it through a company?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's through a company. It's like, I don't really know, dude. It's like
I think what it is, from what I've heard, is like you buy vacation time ahead of time. So you buy, let's say, like
you're right.
1,000 hours of vacation time, and then you can use like 100 hours here, and then next year you can use another 100 hours.
Yeah,
something
you're
like
right.
that.
Because they have like a crazy amount of days, so it wasn't any problem for them to give me a day. So we go to this resort, and we're there, and we're like, yo, this is sick. It was like this. They picked us up in a limo. It was sick as fuck. And we go to this resort, and it's all like older people, because we didn't realize that this resort was for people that wanted to like relax.
Yeah.
You know, like they're going there on vacation versus us, because we don't really work. We don't have like 9 to 5s.
We want to like turn up.
Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we wanted to go hard. So we're at this resort. It's kind of dead. There's just like a lot of old people and stuff like that. And we kind of like made some like superficial friends. Like you go to the bar and you say what's up, but they're all old, and they're like, what are you doing here? And it's like,
Did you know any of them by name over the course of the?
No.
Hey, what's up, Ricky?
I know one girl, or two people. I know 2 girls.
Oh, really?
That I met there. But fuck, now I'm like thinking, what am I gonna say? So yeah, there was a lot of old people, and then because the resort was 18 and up, so you had to be 18 and up. Not that it matters, but it's just like more. If you go to an 18 and up, it's more like 25 to like 45.
Yeah.
So a lot of old people, and we're just drinking, we're having a good time. But then as like the second or third day, we're like, yo, this is kind of boring, because we were kind of just waking up doing the same thing, going to the pool, like drinking, day drinking, whatever.
How big was it?
Dude, the resort was fucking huge.
Really?
The resort was huge. But like our main place where we were staying was like the main place, and then there's all these little like finger pools. It was on the beach. It was actually really nice. Mm-hmm. But if I were to go back, I would do like a cheaper resort where I know more people my age, like 25, would be there.
Yeah.
But that's what we would do. But because it was New Year's, they threw like a pretty fucking sick New Year's Eve party, and we knew we were going to be there in New Year's. So, like hypothetically, we didn't want to drink on New Year's, so we took some other stuff, and that was like, it was the hardest we've ever gone. Well, I took some other stuff.
What was the other stuff?
MDMA, but it was really fun, hypothetically.
MDMA.
It was really fun.
No, but I've been proud of you, because ever since that day, you were like, you know what, I need a break. And you haven't taken it since then.
No, yeah. So I said New Year's, because you're supposed to take, like we said, it's supposed to take 3 months in between rolls. So New Year's Eve was December 31st. And so I said I was going to wait, not like I'm saving the date, but I was going to wait until
end
of March. Yeah.
Yeah.
Start of April.
Right.
So I've been really good about that. But dude, for some reason, I had eaten like so much food, and I was thinking, damn, this is not going to really hit. But for some reason, it just fucking rocked me. And like, I'm in this hotel room, and we're listening to Yeet and just playing music. And like 15, so what happened was all right, I know like all these like drug people in the comments are gonna be like, bro, you're a fucking idiot. I took 5 points.
500 milligrams of Molly?
Yeah. I took 5 points.
It's a big guy.
I took 5 points because I had a lot of food in me, and I was like, fuck it, dude. Like, it's probably not going to hit. I took 5 points. And so 15 minutes later, we're still getting ready to go out, because I was like, okay, I'm going to take this so then I can go out in an hour and then start.
Yeah.
And I'm like walking around changing. I'm in the room with them. And I remember what I was doing. I was just walking like on my phone, and I'm like, I put my phone down, and I was like, holy shit. And then Eric had looked up, because Eric was sober. He was just drinking. Eric looked up, and he was like, what? And I'm like, dude, I'm about to fucking roll my tits off. And I was like, dude, I got to sit down. And then it just, boom, it rocked me, bro. And I'm like sitting there with a pillow. Like I'm holding this hotel pillow, like this big pillow. And I'm just like, holy shit, it was destroying me.
Was it like good at that point?
Oh,
or was
no,
it kind of more like anxious?
It was, I don't really get that. I get anxious, but it's almost like a good, like fight or flight. Like it really just, like pumps me up kind of.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to go out at that time though, because I was like, okay, I don't want to go outside because it's probably going to be too much.
Yeah.
So we were just sitting in the hotel room until it wore off, until it like died down a little bit. But yeah, there was my eyes were like, I have a video where my eyes were going like this. It was just,
that's never happened to me.
Yeah. And my jaw was like, I was like shivering, and Eric's looking at me like, holy fuck, this dude is about to die. And I was like, not like, cause I know how he gets. And I'm like, dude, trust me. Like I'm good. Like I feel really good, whatever. Then we went out and we were just acting a fool, because in our head, also when you're rolling, you don't really care about anything. So in our head, we're like, bro, we're never gonna see these people again.
Yeah.
And we're just like, damn, dude, like Eric has these videos that I told him do not ever show anyone, because like, dude, we're doing these like the dance moves where it's like the cha-cha slide or whatever the fuck, or like the shuffles and all that, where like they yell out the moves. Bro, we're going hard as hell, like dancing with these people. And
they were yelling out the moves?
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny.
And like and also when you're rolling, you just want to talk to people. You're so empathetic.
Yeah.
And so we start talking to we start meeting these people. Like this one guy's like one of the richest guys in London, who's dating this African prince, who's like this beautiful, like melanin queen. Like,
wait, dating African princess?
Yeah, sorry, princess.
Okay.
Sorry, princess. Sorry, princess. Like beautiful, dude, like beautiful skin. And we're like talking to her, and we're so into her because it's like this princess,
Yeah.
I don't really know how princesses work, but I don't know what
princess
country.
of what?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a country.
She was a princess of an African country?
Of a country in Africa.
Damn.
And it was like absolutely wild. We're meeting these people.
I didn't know princesses still existed like that.
Yeah, it's probably just like, it probably doesn't mean much.
Yeah.
But she's probably just like a daughter of like some queen in Africa. Maybe it was like a village or something. I'm pretty sure it was a country.
Damn.
Like some dope country. And this London guy who's like way older than her, like just talking to us, and it was super cool. And we meet all these people. And then Eric, so we stayed there for 5 days. Eric got sick, so he's tested positive for COVID, and we had to leave the next day. And we were like, yo, can we stay with him? Because you have to stay. You're literally stuck there until you test negative. And we're like, yo, can you stay, or can we stay with him? And they're like, no, you have to go. You're positive. He's got to go, or you're negative. He's got to go into the quarantine zone. So we're like, all right, bro, like I'm gonna fuck with you. And we dip to the airport, and we're texting him. Yeah. Dude, I felt so bad because he was so down bad. I like gave him my speaker. I was like, dude, here, take this. Like, and like try to at least have a little bit of fun. And he was just there in the room. I think he only stayed for about a day. And then they kept on coming in and testing him every day, every morning. And he had to pay for the test too. And he had to pay for the nights that he stayed.
What?
It was like only $130, but that racks up if you're sick.
No, yeah.
And
so what? Wait, it was $130 per night?
I think so, something or $330 a night when you're in the quarantine zone.
That's nuts.
They bring you food and shit. And
you have to what happens if you don't pay? You get thrown in some Mexican prison?
I have no idea if he did pay, but I just know that the second day, I think it was, they came to test him, and dude, they like can tell he's fucking miserable, and they literally like barely swabbed his nose, and they're like, you're negative, go. And so I think they gave him a false negative. But then he came back and tested again, and he was negative. So maybe it just wore off. Yeah. But yeah, he came back. He flew home, and then he came back the day after, and it was really fun. Jeez. But that was like, I mean, if I could go back, I would do it, and I would do how we did the first time, or I would go to a resort. Like right now, it's spring break for a lot of college people. Cancun. So like Marcos and Cabo. Marcos and Cabo. It looked fun as fuck, and I thought Cabo was for like older people because it's more, you got like scenic stuff. But
I saw Val went there too.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people.
So I
there
think
right
it's Cabo's. I've been there with my family, but yeah, I mean I'm down.
Next week.
Yeah, you know me, man. Well, I wanted to go somewhere for my birthday, but I was thinking Vegas.
Vegas or Miami.
Yeah.
Or someplace in Mexico. But then we want people to go.
Yeah, so, yeah, it'd be sick. So we'll see.
Drop in the comments. Good Soosh birthday vacation spots.
This weekend, Eric's birthday is the 15th of March, and we are actually celebrating it on the 12th because it's Saturday. 15th is a Tuesday or Wednesday. So we're celebrating it 2 days from now.
Mhm.
So that's going to be really fun because we're going out and like we did all this stuff for him. I'm really excited for that because I'm going to like film the whole thing and it's going to be a big, like, not a memorial, but a big, like, it's just going to be like a video about like, I guess him and his birthday. So I'm kind of devoting that video to him.
Yeah.
But it's going to be super sick.
Memorial. Sounds like
not
died.
memorial. It's not like he died.
R.I.P.
Yeah. And then we came back. And at that, dude, that's what I wanted to talk about was, like, because I talked about it last podcast, was like with Xanax. Because at that time I was on Xanax. Or before, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That was when you were here. So that was around December when I was taking Xanax.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And that wasn't good.
Should we talk about the fight?
Yeah. Well,
Dude,
I'll talk about the whole
epic.
I'll talk about the whole Xanax thing because I know a lot of people were asking about it and people were like, "Yo, are you good?" So that was only probably a 3-week span when I was taking it, and at this time I was blasting as well. So I definitely, and this was my back end of trend, so I just wasn't right really in the head. I had a couple. Would
you say that was the worst mental state you've ever been in?
Yeah, dude, I was just all over the place because because that was when I was eating. So I was binging food, like 6,000-7,000 calories a day with
no
Weston.
self-esteem. Just like
I'm like fuck this, I'm getting fat, whatever. And then I would go in the gym and I would take Superdraw pre-workout and I'd just be so pumped and like have all this energy. And then at night I would come home and we got a hold of Xanax and I would take usually I would take like 4 milligrams. So or it's 3 or 4, and the regular ones that you get from that are prescribed are 1 milligram.
Yeah, one to 2 are usually the bars. And for reference, I'll be honest, I've taken Xanax maybe 4 times, but I only ever took it once recreationally. Once I took it recreationally because I'd never done it before, and I think I took 0.5 milligram, and all it did was it just made me really tired. So I thought it was going to be like a good party drug, but I was like, this is kind of stupid. It just made me really tired and like not care about anything. So I never took it for that again. But I noticed when I took it at the party, I came home and I slept like 14 hours. And at the time, for some reason, I was having bad insomnia. Like I would get up to pee 1 or 2 times a night.
It was
and
the pee thing.
It was really the pee thing. It wasn't insomnia. I was just peeing a lot and I was trying different things to stop myself from getting up in the night because I'm not the type of person that can fall right back asleep. Like I do not understand how that works. There's some people that can wake up, pee, and within 2 minutes they'll be back asleep. But with me, it's like once I get up and start moving, my body's like, oh, we're awake for the day now. And it would take hours for me to go back to sleep, and so it would just wreck my next day. But the other, I think 3 times I took it, I only took 1/4 of 1 milligram, so 0.25 before bed, and I would sleep like 10, 11 hours, not waking up a single time. I'd have to wake up and my bladder was about to explode, but like nothing could wake me up. Like nuclear bombs could be going off and I was just sleeping through it. And for me, that was so good because I had tried Dream, which normally works really well for me. I tried Gorilla Dream. I tried stacking
Gorilla
Dream.
Sleep stack.
Yeah, I tried stacking Gorilla Dream. Yeah, remember that?
You had a whole sleep stack.
Gorilla Dream, and then I would take
glutamine.
Glutamine, and I would take diphenhydramine, which is Benadryl, which is more like a sedative. There was some other stuff I took, L-theanine.
We can't even sleep natty, guys, so.
No, now I can sleep just fine for some reason, but yeah, so I would take it for that purpose, and I noticed that it just knocked me the fuck out. So when I heard that you were taking like 3, 4 at a time, what was the most you took at one time?
I think I took 1.5 the first time, and that would be 6.5 milligram. And I was fucking bar-tard. I was a retard, seriously.
Yeah.
I remember waking up that first day because we had come home and I slept. Oh, so I woke up and I came out here, and I mean, I'm sure some of you guys have dealt with this if you have taken it. When you're barred out, the next day you're still super groggy and it's really weird. It's hard to explain.
It's like a hangover.
You're not there.
It's like a very, very strong mental fog.
And I remember crashing on the couch, and Eric comes downstairs, and I wake up, or I had fallen off the couch, and I was on
the floor.
I was on the floor, and
Holy
Eric was
fuck.
like, "Yo, what's up?" And I'm like, "Dude, I just had a dream. I had a dream with Kyle Nowak and Ryan Dangler, and that's what I remember. I just had a dream with them, and I just fell on the floor." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And then I got back on the bed, slept for a couple more hours, and then I woke up. I'm like, "Yo, did I just talk to you?" And Eric was like, "Yeah, you were talking about a dream." And I'm like, "Dude." That's when I knew. I was like, okay, this is a little bit fucked. I need to be careful with this. And then we got in a little argument when we were arguing about how addictive benzos are.
Yeah, and that because up to this
I should have known from then, because how worried you were. I should have known. Like, I should have took you for like.
Yeah, I mean, because up to that point with any other drug, this was kind of the red flag for me. Was up to that point with any other drug, you would take it, but you would also know this isn't good.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, at least he knows like this isn't good. So like if you started to take Adderall too often, you'd be like, okay, I need to chill because I'm taking this too often and I know it's bad. Or with Molly, you'd be like, okay, I don't want to fuck my brain up. I'm not going to take this too often because I know it's bad. But with Xanax, you started defending it. Like, not defending it, but I was like, oh, you got to watch out for Xanax, man. I've noticed you've been taking it a little more often. And that shit is super addictive because it's a benzo. And you said like, oh, benzos aren't that bad, something to that degree. And I was like, Jordan Peterson, he had to get put in a medically induced coma because he was prescribed Klonopin, which I think is a benzo. And actually, I just want to fact check that real quick. I just want to make sure. Is Klonopin a benzo? Yeah. So that's a benzo, and he got so physically dependent on it because really doctors are only supposed to prescribe these things for like 2 week to 1 month spans. But some doctors are just, for whatever reason, they keep refilling it over and over and over. And he was on it for like 3 years.
Big Pharma's got you by the balls,
yeah,
man.
No, seriously. There's a lot of money to be made there. And eventually, I guess for whatever reason, he realized this was a problem. I think he tried weaning off of it, and it just like wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And he had to be put in a coma and almost fucking died. And he was kind of offline, like didn't upload any videos, didn't post at all for like a year because he was just so down bad from this recovery. He almost fucking died. And I was thinking, these are prescription doses. Soosh is taking way bigger than like normal doses. So I was just like, watch out. You got to be careful. It's more addictive than Adderall. And we got into a bit of a fight over like, you were like, it's not as bad as Adderall. Like Adderall's way worse. And then you started getting on me for like, you take Adderall, like you hit nicotine, you're addicted to that, like you're a hypocrite, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I know, but like, bro, come on, fucking Xanax, like that's a different level. Yeah. And I was just like, I'm looking out for you. But just the way you were reacting was like I was attacking you, and I was like, oh shit. And then can I bring up what Shelby said?
Yeah.
So you'd gone out, this was like maybe a week later or something. And
Shelby's my sister. She was here for a little bit.
And you had gone out to do something, and it was just me and her sitting at the table, and she was like, okay, James, I have an honest question for you. Do you think Brandon has a drug problem? And I said, honestly, no, I don't think he does, but I think he's really playing with fire. I think he's like right on the edge, and I think that if he pushes it a little bit, it could be like a downward spiral, so he's really got to be careful. And she was like, okay, I believe you. And then that was that. And I remember, so we had that argument, and then like 30 minutes later, I think you sent me like a screenshot or something, or you texted me or something, and you were like, bro, I Googled it. Adderall's more addictive than benzos. And I was like, no, that's not true, because like it's just talking about which one's more prescribed, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, damn, he's still thinking about it. Like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
You know?
So I was down bad, seriously.
Yeah. And none of this is coming at Brandon because he's good now. So,
yeah,
but this is just recounting a time it almost got really bad.
What I would do, I wasn't doing them daily. I would start it off like doing 3 times a week. I'd be like, okay, 3 times a week is cool. So I would do them at night. And at this time we were doing Kroger walks. So if you guys keep up on social media, we would walk to
Whatever
Kroger.
happened to those, by the way?
He's on prep, so he doesn't have he doesn't have energy.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna walk to Kroger alone. Fuck that.
Yeah.
So I would take them before, like sometimes I would take them before Kroger walks. And I remember I would probably do like 3/4 of the bars that we had, so that would be 3 milligrams. And I remember doing Q&As, and I don't know, none of you guys called me out on it, but like these guys did because they know me very closely, obviously. And I go and look through my story archives, and I'm thinking, dude, I was fucked up, and no one really said anything about it, but like my eyes, like I just was not there. Nobody was
talking
home.
about IG stories where you can do the ask me a question.
Yeah,
thing.
I was doing the Q&As, and I would like post my face and then say something. And there was a point where I had answered the same question like 3 times because I was so fucked up where I lost memory because that's what happens. Everything gets really fuzzy, and I had lost memory, and I'd post the same question 3 different times with like this same similar answer.
Yeah, so you would like answer the question, and then you'd answer a different one, and then you'd answer the one you answered 2 stories ago. Then you'd answer a different one. Then you'd answer the same one again.
It was seriously fucked up, and I remember waking up and being like, "Holy shit!" And I deleted them.
Yeah, you'd go back and be like, "What the fuck was I doing?"
And it was getting to the point where my days were blending together. I didn't know what day it was. I'd be like, "Yo, when did we do this?" And he'd be like, "That was 2 days ago." And I was like, "Oh, I thought that was yesterday," or "We did something yesterday when I thought it was like last week."
Yeah.
So I didn't know what fucking day it was. I didn't know any. Like I was literally a fucking retard. Like I was a bartard. Seriously.
Keep in mind, as you were doing this, you were also during the day blasting Superdrol and having the most retarded gym sessions, like just going nuts.
Yeah.
So your like peak and valley range was like really fucking big. Like you would have these huge uppers going on Adderall, Superdrol, like the most stimulated you can possibly be, and then come home and be the least stimulated you could possibly be. So your mental was just like,
and I think that's why I looked forward. I would look forward to it. I'd be like, oh, Thursday is the day I could take it, and I would take it, and I would just. It's not like I wanted to say that I was trying to escape anything, because I don't think that's what I was doing. But I would go, and it was just like when you're on Xanax is a anxiety medication, so it kind of just helps people with anxiety who like overthink. So when you take it and you don't need it, it's almost like you don't think at all. Like nothing fucking matters. Like literally nothing matters. And that's kind of why I liked it, is because I could read comments, people could talk shit, and none of it would fucking matter.
Didn't give a single fuck.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't care about anything good or bad. It was just zombie, bro. Fucking zombie.
Yeah, which is like sounds pretty dreadful.
Yeah.
Not caring about literally anything, whether it's good, bad, love, hate. Like no emotion. It's just zombie mode. And to want to desire that feeling of feeling nothing at all kind of goes to show how bad your mental state was at the time. Because like anyone else hearing that would be like, well, even if I'm sad, I still want to feel something. But to look forward to like, oh, on Thursday, I'm going to be able to feel nothing for 12 hours.
Yeah.
That's like, that just goes to show that you weren't in a good place at all at the time.
Dude, and it sucks because I was still doing content and shit like that.
Yeah, but I didn't really even realize it, because I mean, I did realize it to some degree, but I thought it was kind of just like, okay, maybe he's getting hooked on Xanax and that's it. But you're just naturally an impulsive person, which you would agree to. So I kind of thought like, oh, this is just another phase. Because you go through these phases of like, I'm going to get piercings now, I'm going to get tattoos now, like just kind of impulsive moves. And sometimes they're harmless. Like getting piercings is harmless. So I kind of just thought, you know, he's really hectic. He's binging, and then he's having these crazy workouts, probably relying too much on Xanax. But it'll fade. It'll go away. And then eventually it just wasn't.
It got to the point where I knew it was bad, so I gave my stash, I gave it to Eric, and I was like, yo, let me take half once a week. And that's what I got down to. And so he like put it in his room because I knew how bad it was, which is kind of fucked, because I knew like, yo, I shouldn't be doing this, so I'm going to give it to you, but like kind of wean me off. Like if
that's kind of where I started to be like, oh shit. Because the fact that, you know, you'll hear these stories about drug addicts that they're like smoking meth or injecting heroin or whatever, and they're like crying because they hate it. They hate the fact that they're hooked, and they talk about it in such a negative light, but they can't stop doing it. So I kind of, that was like stage one, was you being like, this is really bad. I'm going to give it to Eric.
But I'm still going to do it.
But I'm still going to do it. But like, I know it's bad.
Yeah.
And that kind of was like another red flag. And then, again, I never really fucked with Xanax like that, but like occasionally I would use it to sleep. And after like 1 week of really sleepless nights, I was like, hey, Eric, do you mind if I have like a little less than a quarter of a pill? Because I just wanted about 0.25 to help me sleep. And he said, yeah, sure. It's in my shoe in my room. So I went and found it. And I think I told you, or maybe I didn't. But so anyway, fast forward maybe another week or 2 or 3, whatever. We go to Remington's for some sort of UFC fight gathering, whatever. And me and Eric are drinking a little bit, and we're just having a good time. Everyone's kind of up and social and like talking to each other. And you're on the couch, barred out. And
looking back on it, bro, I'm embarrassed because I'm probably like, there were a lot of people there and they're looking at me and they're like, bro, what? Like,
I feel bad like talking about it because like I would be embarrassed too.
Yeah.
But I also don't feel bad because I know you're past that now, and I know you're never fucking with it again. So it's like, might as well be honest about the past because it's the past for a reason. So you were on the couch, and I remember you told me, you were like, don't let me fall asleep. And I was like, okay.
I don't even remember that. So.
Yeah. You were like, and you were like slurring at this point. You're like, James, don't let me fall asleep. And you like motioned me over so you could say it. And I'm like, oh my God, you're fucked up. Yeah. And you were, because you don't really care about anything, you also don't notice when you're being out of pocket. So you were playing with Logan, Remington's dog, and it's like this little, he probably weighs 5 pounds. And you're like being a little overly rough with him because in your head at the time, it's just like a fuzzy object. And you're like kind of spinning him around and like just being a little overly aggressive. And Remington walks up behind you and kind of just like takes Logan away from you and just looks over at us and then looks back at you. And he was like, you are fucked up. And you were like, yeah.
Yeah, Remington, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, bro. That was not good.
Yeah. And I forget exactly how much you took that night, but I drove. So I don't really think I was drinking that much because I had to drive home. So I was still relatively sober, and we drove home, and you got in the back, and you just laid flat in the back, and you kind of were like, you were posting selfies in the back seat of you being like, like with the goofy faces, because you just don't care. You're like, I don't care what people think about this. I look funny right now. So me and Eric were just kind of talking and also like keeping an eye on you in the back. And then when we got home, I forget exactly what you said or did, but you were just acting super fucked up. And we got out of the car first because you were slumped in the back. And Eric looked at me and he was like, okay, this has to stop. Like,
damn, this is the first time I'm hearing this, bro.
Well, I told you about it, but you might have still been on a Xanax bender.
Yeah.
But so anyway, well, this is news to you too. So this is what happened. Eric was like, and I can tell when he's kind of like joking about it, like, oh, bro, he's fucked up.
That's how I know when he tells me, yo, it's getting out of hand, because he did tell me.
But he looked, and the look on his face was like not. It was just not like joking. He was like, we got to take the Xanax away. And Eric's is not very confrontational. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. And at this point, you had given the Xanax to Eric, but then you'd taken it back because you were like, this is mine. I can do what I want with it.
Yeah, give me it.
Yeah. And that's when it started getting really out of hand because you were just taking as much as you wanted when you wanted. And we walked inside, all three of us, and I was like, all right. Soosh. I wasn't like coming at you. I was kind of like half joking so that I wouldn't like set you off. And I was like, all right, Soosh, give me the Xanax. I got to take it from you. And you're like, no, it's mine. And I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I got to take it from you. We're going to give it back to Eric. You can still have your weekly allotment. And you were just like, I'm not fucking giving it to you. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to have to steal it from you, and you're going to be really upset about it, so you might as well just give it to me. And you were like, bro, I'm not fucking doing that.
Yeah, dude.
And this is where you started to like get a little amped up. And that's how I knew like shit was kind of about to go down, because you were zombie up to that point, just like retard mode, just kind of like.
And then wait,
existing.
so then and the next morning we had that big, like, we were in the living room, right?
Yeah.
Was it that next morning?
That was that, yeah.
Yeah.
So
we'd all like
all of a sudden you went from being zombie to all of a sudden being like, don't fucking take my Xanax, like wide awake. And I was like, whoa. And then you kind of walked into the kitchen, and then you walked back into your room. And I was still trying to like simmer down the situation, and I followed you into the room, and I was like, Brandon, this is a problem. Like, just give me the Xanax. And you were like, bro, it's my fucking Xanax. If you want Xanax, get your own. And I'm like, dude, I don't want your Xanax. Yeah. I'm not going to take it. I thought
you were like trying to take it.
Yeah, because it's so like lizard brain, because you're so fucked up. You're like, it's mine, my property. Like, you get your own. And I'm like, dude, you're not getting it. I don't care. I don't even fucking take Xanax. And then I think you tried saying like, oh, you basically take it just as much as me. And I'm like, no, bro, I've taken like a quarter of a pill, like a handful of times to sleep. Like, this is way different. You got to give it to me. I was trying to reason with you, because but reason wasn't going to work at that point, because you were on defense mode. And that's something that I should have done better, is I was so aggressively at that point, like, give it to me, but I wasn't really cooling down the situation, because I was kind of like, give me the fucking Xanax. And
I think you just gave up.
I was like standing at the entrance to your room, and it just kind of kept going back and forth. Give me the Xanax. No, get your own. I don't want it for me. I want to take it away from you. I'm not going to steal your Xanax, okay? Just give it to me so that you don't take it a lot. And you're like, no, fucking get your own. And then you were like, get the fuck out of my room.
Yeah.
And at that point, this is where I kind of lost it too, because now it was just like, went completely off the rails. And I was like, no, I'm not leaving your room. And you were like, just kind of looked at me. You were like, get the fuck out of my room. I don't want to talk to you right now. And Eric was trying to back me up, but again, he's not really confrontational. So he was just kind of standing next to me.
Yeah.
Just like witnessing it.
I didn't know he was there.
Yeah. He kind of like walked in after a few seconds and just kind of stood like right behind me. And I'm like, I'm not leaving your room. Give me the fucking Xanax. And then you were like, you take fucking Adderall. Like you take Adderall.
I started attacking you.
By the way, I don't hold this against you. Like at this point, there's a way in the past. And I know that the reason I don't hold it against you is because that wasn't you. Yeah. That was Xanax you. So it's like,
that was Bard, bro.
If that was sober you, I'd probably still hold it against you, but I don't take it personally. But at the time, it's in the moment. I was taking it personally. And
I ended up keeping them.
Yeah, you kept them, and I'm like, at that point, I just kind of threw my hands up and gave up, and I walked out of your room. But you had been set into attack mode, so you were like, I'm not fucking letting this go. Yeah. So you walked out of your room. I kind of just went into the kitchen, and me and Eric were like, fuck, like what are we gonna do? And you followed me out, and then I won't get into specifics because honestly, I don't even remember them all that well. But it was just like completely not about Xanax at that point. It was just like personal attack at me, personal attack after personal attack. And at that point I was just saying, okay, Brandon, personal attack. Okay, Brandon, another personal attack. Okay, Brandon. And you would like say one, and I'd say, okay, Brandon. And then you would start to walk back into your room, and then your brain would think of something else. And I would watch you turn around and walk back out and make another personal attack. And I'd be like, okay, Brandon. And then you walk back into your room and would walk back out. And that just kept happening. And it started turning into like just picking apart my life and picking apart me. And it got to the point where, because when you really care about someone, like you do not want to be in this situation. We've probably talked about the Riser Fit Zach Jennings fight that we had.
We've already talked about
talked about it. And remember, like when we both got into the room, we were like on the verge of tears because even though we were bucking up to each other, once it got to just me and you, we both just hugged it out and we're like, I'm sorry, that was stupid, blah, blah, blah. Because you don't want to be like that with someone that you actually care about. So it got to this point where the attacks you were making were like so out of line and personal and not having to do with Xanax that I actually started crying because, and no, I wasn't high in estrogen or anything. It wasn't like a hormonal thing, but I was just like, damn, this is one of my best friends and he's saying this stuff. And I wasn't thinking in my head, this is just the Xanax talking. Like I was trying to tell myself that, but it was still getting to me. And I started crying. And I think I said like, are we friends? Like, how can you say this to a friend? And that didn't get through to you at the time. You just kind of looked at me and you were like, we are friends, but like, I'm just telling the truth. And then I was literally like tears were streaming down my face and I just went and sat back down and that was just really fucking bad. It kind of just went on that way for a minute. And then I ended up just going upstairs and I texted Eric and I was like, can I talk to you for a bit? And Eric was up in his room at this point. Eric heard the whole thing. He was sitting downstairs.
Yeah,
as
he was
going
downstairs.
back and forth. And I went up and I talked to him for like, we had like a 2-hour conversation.
Bro, like I fucking... You're talking
Holy
about this,
shit.
bro, and I fucking ripped my nail off.
Jesus
So I'm
Christ.
like getting like...
So like bleeding.
Yeah.
But then I walked into Eric's room and I was like, I was just really torn up about it. And I kind of just vented to him for a while. And for the first like 45 minutes or so, it was kind of just him listening to me. And I cried a little bit more. And I'm like, how the fuck could you say that kind of stuff to a friend? And blah, blah, blah. And then it turned into kind of the roles reversed. And he started opening up about like kind of the same thing. Just talking about like his friendship with you. And it got to the point where he was like, I left the room and he texted me after and he's like, that honestly, that conversation just really opened my eyes up to a lot of stuff. I'm going to start being more confrontational to Brandon now. I'm going to start like, I'm going to be a good friend to him and like call him out on shit instead of trying to avoid confrontation, something along those lines. And then the next day we had, sorry, I've been ranting for like fucking 15 minutes
this is
now.
the first time we've talked about this.
Yeah.
And this is half of this I'm hearing. This is the first time I'm hearing this.
Yeah. So then the next.
So just skip ahead if you don't give a fuck about this shit.
The next morning, I walked out of my room and you were up there with Eric, and I guess you guys had talked for a bit, and you were like, all right, we need to talk. And it was me, you, Eric, Weston, and we all sat around.
And I'm still like,
you're still hungover.
Still barred out. Like,
Yeah.
not barred out, but I'm still fuzzy.
Yeah, still fuzzy, still not really yourself because you'd taken such a big amount just like 12 hours prior.
But it is the morning.
Yeah. So you were still kind of
remember
a little fucked up.
I remember it was really bright. I remember being in the living room and where everyone was sitting.
Yeah. So we started having this conversation.
And it started good.
It was us four.
It started good. It started like...
It started okay, but it was civil.
Yeah, it started civil. Not good. It didn't start good. It started civil.
Yeah. But it was mainly like you being like, James, here's the things I don't like about you. Here's the things you need to work on. James. And then it was kind of just me and you talking at first, and it was us going back and forth. And I was I was doing everything in my fucking power to stay cool. And I did. I wasn't raising my voice, and I was just talking to you calmly. I didn't want it to be like the last night. And then finally you kind of turned on to Eric, and you've been best friends with Eric for how long now?
Since high school.
Like early high school.
I've known him since middle school, but yeah, freshman year we started being friends.
So you guys know each other really well, and that's obviously like, he knows you better than basically anyone. And you turned to him and you started asking him like, I don't want to get like too personal, but you were just asking him like, do you think I'm this? Do you think I'm that? Like, because I had kind of implied these certain things, and then you almost went to him to like fact check.
Yeah.
And once he started agreeing with me, and he was like,
yeah,
I was sitting there.
Because usually he would kind of like, because I was in my head, I'm thinking, if I were to go back, I'm thinking, yo, he's about to back me up.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how it always has been.
Yeah.
And then it was just kind of like the opposite.
Yeah. Because as soon as you turned to him, I was literally thinking, please, Eric, remember the conversation we had last night. Please stick to your guns. And he did. And he was like, you know, he wasn't coming at you, but he was like, look, honestly, man. And then he just started like going for it. And then eventually he got even more straightforward than I was being. And normally I'm like the straightforward one, but I was kind of walking on eggshells with you, but he wasn't. He was just laying it out. Boom, 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 boom. And then you stopped talking and you were just kind of sitting there for like 15 minutes as he was going through it. Just like, and at that point I actually, even though everything that had happened, I started to actually feel bad for you because I could see he was getting through to you and you were like, oh shit, this is a problem. And I actually, because the look on your face was like just awful. And we ended up talking for like 3 hours there. And I mean, it still took about another day for you to really get over the mental fog.
I'm trying to figure out when so eventually, okay. So I think I remember. So we had that conversation. We went about our day. We kind of didn't see each other. And then the next day, I think I have a video of it. And I took the Xanax and I was like, I took the Xanax and I poured them them down the toilet just so, and I saved the video.
Round of applause.
Yeah, round of applause. So I poured it down the toilet and I flushed them. And then I think I saw you
sent it to us. You sent us the video.
Yeah, and I think I saw you later that night. And I remember, because I remember now clearly, that it was just you and I in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. And I remember you had like the fridge door open. And I was like talking to you and I pretty much just like apologized. And like we hugged it out.
Well, yeah, actually so the night of the round table conversation, you got high on weed, not Xanax. I think you'd thrown it out at that point. But you kind of sat me down and you were like, hey, I'm sorry about the stuff I said, blah, blah, blah. And there was still like a lot of tension between us, but I was like, you know what, it's cool. Like, what are we going to do? And then, but the next morning, I walked downstairs and you were sitting on the couch and I just kind of started going about making breakfast and stuff. And we exchanged some words and then you walked over to me and you actually started crying and you gave me a hug and you were like, I'm so sorry. And you kept like repeating that. And I was like, it's okay. Like at that moment, I knew it kind of like got through and this tension could start going away. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was the fight.
It was a crazy 3 weeks. I'll tell you that. It was fucking weird.
Yeah.
It was a lot of emotion. It was just, I don't know why it was so crazy. It was just ups and downs, you know, binging and stuff like that, and just a lot of tension and shit. Yeah. But yeah, and you mentioned smoking, because I think I probably had just started smoking. So, and like now I've been smoking weed like every night, kind of just like to help me. I wouldn't say like it's to help me, because I do like being high at night. So when I'm done with my day and I know I have nothing to do, I'll just smoke and I'll probably eat my last meal or eat some Anna butter, and I go to bed. But that was kind of like, and I'm not saying like I'm a stoner or anything, because I don't want to say I'm a stoner, because I feel like stoner has a bad connotation to it.
I feel like stoner means you smoke all day.
Yeah.
So which you don't. Yeah, you're never high during the day. It's
just because I can't do anything when I'm high. So I smoke at night and I go to bed. So that's kind of, I won't say that's my like way out, because it's not, but I do like having that not sober effect.
Yeah, that crutch kind of.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's good. Like most people, I would say like, I don't know, weed might not be the best because I think it can make you demotivated, but that's mainly if you're smoking during the day. But with you, I feel like weed has kind of been like, out of all the things you could use as a crutch, I would rather have you do weed. Mm. So once you started smoking weed, all the other drugs kind of went out the window. You still like occasionally take a small bit of Adderall for like a lift or whatever, but you weren't really bringing up like, oh, we should try this, we should try that. It was kind of just like you smoke your weed at night, we have some laughs, then you go to sleep. And I really do feel like weed has like helped you in that way. Personally.
Yeah, I think so too. No, my favorite thing now is like going out, because we've been going out on the weekends a lot more, starting to like go out of our comfort zone, try different stuff, go to different bars and venues. So I like to, and you haven't really been participating because of you're trying to take your bodybuilding prep more serious.
I get FOMO,
which I respect 100% because I'm a big FOMO person.
Yeah,
Fear of missing out. I fucking hate FOMO. So I 100% respect your dedication to the prep. But what I like to do now is like I go out on the weekends, like Saturday, and then I'll come back with a few drinks, and then I'll just like smoke and like, dude, that's like that has been my, and like play with Milo, and that has been like my.
Yeah, because I think that's your way of like turning up.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can go out and actually like relieve. I think you're just like maybe like high strung almost. You need to relieve all this like energetic emotion. So when you go out, and you don't really get that fucked up when you go out. You kind of just like dance, hear the loud music, hang out with people. And I think that's been good too. I really would like to go out every weekend, but the thing is, I've been saving. I know that I have my meet, or not my meet. I keep calling it a meet. I'm so used to powerlifting. I have my show in 15 weeks. So I know there's like 2 or 3 times that I am probably going to get fucked up from now until then. So, because like Eric's birthday, your birthday, maybe one other time.
So you like save up. You have something to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly. I have something to look forward to, and also that means I can't be going out every weekend because it's like I know that I'm gonna get super fucked up those 2 or 3 times, and that's like the maximum allotment that I can really, have for prep.
Dude, what I really like and what I've been figuring out is like especially with Eric, I enjoy having a few drinks and then not getting to the point where I'm not going to remember anything. And I like drinking. We went with D-Trend. We took him out Saturday night or something like that. And I enjoy I almost live through people, if that makes sense.
No, you do.
Because I was telling Eric that when we go out into the club and I buy some bottles for people, like there was one time we went to this bar and there was someone from the gym and it was her birthday and she had bought this section at the place and I didn't even know she was going to be there. Eric and I had just pulled up and I was like, oh my God, what's up? And like Harry was there, our homies. And she was like, it's my birthday. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I bought her, like, this is not a flex or anything. I just bought her like a bottle, which was
42.
No. I just bought a big Magnum Grey Goose. And I had bought them a bottle, and they were like, thank you. And when it came out, they're like, who bought this? And I was like, I got it for you guys. Thank you so much. I didn't even drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even drink. I enjoyed them enjoying it. Them enjoying it was me also enjoying it. Yeah. And I didn't even have to drink.
No, because I've noticed, like, it's funny because when we're not at a club setting, you'd be like the one getting fucked up or whatever. But then when we go to a club setting, which is when it's like okay to get fucked up, you don't get fucked up.
Yeah.
And I notice you're kind of like the dad of the group sometimes.
Yeah, I like
I feel like people would prescribe that title onto me, but I'm like the opposite. I'm the one who like gets way too fucked up when we go out, and you're the one usually taking care of me. Because that's like my acceptable time. I'm like, okay, when we're not at the club, I'm not going to be getting fucked up.
And it's also you only go once a month, so it's have to. Well, you don't have to, but you know what I mean.
Nah, you gotta.
Yeah, you have to go. You have to go hard.
You gotta.
And so that's something that I learned is that I just like. I almost do enjoy not taking care of everybody, but just making sure, hey, like you guys got Ubers, and like I'm driving this person home, or I'm driving that person home. So it's stuff like that where I really enjoy, and so that's something that. We've been going out every weekend for like the past, Eric and I at least have been going out every weekend for the past probably 6 weeks. And we're starting to get to know people. And it's been really fun to make like connections. I'm meeting people, the same people, faces, and I'm starting to meet people who are in different businesses. So it's also, we do go out and we have a good time, but it also is I leverage it to, make connections.
Yeah.
And like this weekend, I'm going to we're going somewhere I'm not gonna say because I don't want like a million people to show up, but we're going somewhere for Eric's birthday, and I worked something in with one of my guys there. I'm bringing in the camera because lately our videos have been there's some partying, and so I'm bringing in my whole camera, and like we're gonna go super crazy on this edit and multiple cameras. We got the light and everything, so I'm trying to work my way into not the club scene or like the nightlife, but I'm, just making connections, and the fact that I can bring in a camera because all my stuff is on my phone usually.
Mm-hmm.
So And I think that's fucking awesome. I saw a funny comment when I had mentioned it. Someone was like, "I love enabling Soosh to go to the club," but
I mean, yeah, it's fucking fun. Dude.
Yeah, it is really fun.
It is like,
and people love watching it. You guys fucking love it, and I love that.
The edit you did when I was there, I forget what the video was, but it was the X with the boot up.
Yeah, and that was only like 30 seconds.
Yeah, and it was just like
it's just fun to watch.
I was getting hyped watching it, and I was literally there.
Yeah,
I was like, damn, this shit looks so fun. Oh wait, I was there.
I know.
You know, like he did. Eric just does such. He really like captures the party vibe well when he edits. But yeah, that is the drug and partying stories that have been going on for the past few months. Yeah, basically. So
what else has happened?
I mean, not too much. I got home from Dubai, and you got
the plaid.
You should go to Dubai.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe next year.
Maybe.
Or you should go New Year's 2022, leading into 2023.
Possibly.
Because
dude, there's something about Dubai rubs me the wrong way, and I think it's honestly just traveling. That big flight, and I just don't like traveling at all.
Well,
honestly.
If you get business class, it would be worth it. The reason I didn't get business is because it was like $4,000, and I was like, you know what? If I can just survive for 15 hours, I'll save like over 3,000 because economy one way is less than 1,000, and Emirates economy is like first class United. It's really fucking nice. Yeah, but
so business economy,
Emirates business.
Emirates business.
Yeah, Emirates business. It's really nice. I mean, I think with Emirates business, you just get a seat. Like your whole seat section might be about the area of this table, right? For business,
and it's a door, right?
No, that's first class. I actually want to get into this. So business, you probably get an area maybe a little shorter than this area of the table, and you have a seat that fully reclines, so you can take a nap. You have like a screen. You get a different menu, so you have a much nicer menu. But first class, not only do you get different seats, you get a different level on the flight. You're on the upstairs, so you have an Airbus 380, which is I think the biggest.
Isn't it like $20,000 flights though?
Yeah, so you can get. I think if I've gone on Expedia, and it's like 10,000 up to like 20,000 for one way.
Jeez, one way.
Yeah,
40,000 just for traveling there, bro, and back.
Yeah, or 20 if you can get the cheaper ones. But with Emirates, don't pause this video now because I want you to watch the whole thing. But when you're done, I want you to look up Casey Neistat, Emirates First Class. And he does a whole tour of it. You get an entire room, and you get a door that closes. And they serve you caviar. They serve you, like, Wagyu, like, super exotic foods. And
not airplane food.
Nah, not airplane food. They have, like, a chef making it. And you get, I think, 10 minutes of allotted shower time. So there's a shower on the plane. So at like the 7-hour mark, you're kind of feeling a little grimy. You got airplane air all over you. You can go into this like luxury shower room, have a little shave, brush your teeth, take a quick shower, come back, and the stewardesses make your bed for you. You have a whole bed that reclines. You have a nice big flat screen TV in front of you. It's gorgeous. So
that sounds like, I mean, dude, that sounds like an experience itself. Just going there and then coming back.
Yeah, no.
I
don't think I'd ever pay for that seat. But if I could ever work out like a deal with Emirates where like I'll promote it. See, what happened with Casey is I think they overbooked his flight and they had no seats left. So he happened to get moved for free into first class.
Damn.
And in the video, he was like, I don't know what I did to deserve this.
I would probably pay.
I got first class.
I would probably pay $5,000
Yeah.
there and back though, both ways.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That sounds worth it, especially because it's an experience in itself as well as you're going to Dubai. So it's like, I would pay $5,000.
The only reason that I usually don't is because I tend to sleep on flights. So I don't want to pay 10 grand for a seat and then sleep for like 90% of the flight. Because on the way back, I was probably only awake for 5 hours out of like a 14-hour flight. So it's like, I'm not going to pay 10 grand for that.
I would stay up and just enjoy it.
Yeah. But I think you should go. The reason that I wouldn't live there is because there's no old people That's not why I wouldn't live there. I'm just going on a tangent. There's no old people, and the reason there's no old people is because it's such like a grind, hustle, make money, make connections, money kind of lifestyle where everyone's flexing, everyone's wearing designer, there's hypercars everywhere, that old people, they don't really fit in. So when you make enough money in Dubai, it's kind of like the unspoken rule that you move somewhere else. So it's just kind of like, I wouldn't want to be around that 24/7. I like having my alone time. I have not a social battery, but just like a stimulatory battery. And when I get stimulated too much by like people talking about money and making business decisions and making connections and all this shit, I need to have like an hour where I can just chill on my phone and like relax. But that kind of culture of just hustle, grind 24/7, along with the fact that there's not that much greenery, it's a desert and it's very urban. Mm-hmm. I think I would go insane after like 3-4 months there. I would not be able to live there. But to vacation for like 2 weeks, perfect amount of time.
2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks. I think so. Because think about it.
Think about 2 weeks, but not vacation. I'm talking like partying.
Oh no, you.
Because I would go there maybe like I would say for a week, like 4 days. Like
no. Here's why: jet lag. The first 2 days you can just wipe off your schedule because you're gonna be fucked. So jet lag.
It's complete opposite, right?
It's not complete opposite, but it's like 10 hours difference.
Jeez.
So almost, yeah, that actually is basically complete opposite. Mm-hmm. So you can, if you really want to take it seriously, you can start to train your sleep schedule while you're here and start going to bed like really fucking early or really late. I don't know which one it would be. So that when you get there, it kind of like is naturally, you've already trained yourself. But I would want to go there and I would want to take you on like the desert safari. I'd want to go fucking parachuting, paragliding, whatever, like do like the full Dubai experience and go to all the nice restaurants, Burj Khalifa, etc., and then come back. I wouldn't want to just like go to parties there because it's so like, it's built for tourism. So it is literally designed for you to have so much fucking fun.
Yeah.
If you actually want the Dubai experience, you will have fun, period.
And do they have any restrictions right now?
No, not really. So, I think we had to wear masks here and there.
Okay.
But they don't really take it seriously.
Because dude,
anymore.
It's like if your number one income as a country is tourism. Like UAE is they probably don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't. It's kind of just for show. They'll like have you put your mask on when you walk in somewhere, but then besides that, they don't really care too much. We should go though. Dubai vlogs.
Yeah, no, Dubai would be sick.
Yeah.
We never went to Dubai after that. After this conversation.
Nah, it'll happen eventually. It will.
I've got a couple questions. I went on my Snapchat. If you guys aren't sub, my Snapchat is Soosh_bruh. What's yours?
Mine is James P. English. I tried getting James English, but it was taken.
If there's a new update, so you guys can reply to snaps now. If you have a public profile. So I put up a questionnaire real quick, but I want to talk about this one very fast because I just announced my new company. It is called Boulevard Frames, so BLVD Frames. There's an Instagram for it. There's nothing much on the Instagram. There's literally nothing. But I wanted to keep it kind of a secret until like a month prior. But Gary,
I want to see how many followers you have because you made one single story post.
I had a story post.
And you got 7,300 followers from that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So if you guys aren't following, go follow because what we're going to end up doing is having you guys interact with the brand, making decisions for it. So like I think you guys are going to pick the fucking logo, honestly, and stuff like that and new styles and stuff. So I wanted to keep it a secret, but Gary was like, yo, hype it up.
Yeah. And
I was like, okay, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. So I put it out there, and so this person asked, when is the first drop? He wants it before summer. So it's not going to be for probably another 4 months, which I know is a long time, which sucks, but it will be on the tail end of summer. And I mean, you can wear shades in the winter too. When the snow's out and shit,
you can wear shades in the club.
Yeah, you can wear shades everywhere. So when that comes out, I'm going to do athletes and stuff. So if you guys, or not athletes, because I don't want to seclude, or I don't want to make it a bubble for only fitness people because this is a sunglass company. Anyone can wear sunglasses. So I'm going to be having affiliates. Like James will have a code. A lot of people will have a code, not just fitness people. So yeah, probably 4.5 months from now. And I'm really excited because
I didn't know I was going to code. This is news to me. Thanks, bro.
So I'm really fucking excited because this is, you have Vikal and like this is gonna be like my fucking thing.
Yeah, it's nice to have something that's like your own, something independent.
And bro, I'm telling you guys right now, clip me on this, bro. These will be in Sunglass Hut within, I give it 4 years. You know Sunglass Hut, the big, bro. These are gonna be in that bitch. So I'm really excited. We're taking this one to the fucking moon, man. And this might spark some controversy. So somebody's asking, what is the full story of why you beef with Raw Gear and Bradley? So this is more of a question for me, but can we get into it? I mean, we can't really get into it, right? I don't think we can get into it just yet.
I don't think
we're gonna play it safe. We're gonna play it safe, but essentially, there is no real beef. Especially when I just post a Snapchat and I'm like, yo, who would wear this? I think that's kind of how it started. Is I would, Young LA and Raw Gear and all these other companies. These are all competitors. Mm-hmm. And so I would just post a picture on my story and be like, yo, who would honestly wear this? Mm-hmm. And I, as a person, I'm allowed to have an opinion. Just because I'm an influencer doesn't mean that I can't be like, yo, that fucking shirt is whack or these shorts are whack. So that was essentially what I'm doing. And then I guess a bunch of the Raw Gear athletes got upset and they were chatting in their little group message being like, yo, look at this. And I had that screenshotted to me and sent to me by a Raw Gear athlete. And
they went ballistic.
Yeah, they were Steve, the manager. Steve, I know you're watching because you watch all my shit. I know you do. Steve, the manager, the athlete manager of Raw Gear, was trying to find out like who the fuck did it. And people, he was, I won't say names, but he was a Raw Gear athlete who lives around here, was asking people who I'm friends with, being like, yo, who sent that to Soosh? And obviously no one knows. And so they're not telling him. And so Steve literally was like, yo, you need to find out who did this. They're getting dropped, blah, blah, blah. So there is no real beef. I just honestly like fucking with them because I know I do get in Brad's head. And I honestly like knowing that. So I just, every now and then I toss out like a little shot here and there.
Have you met him in person?
No. And if I did, I would run the other way because I know you'd fucking murder me. No, I'm just kidding, Brad. We could make amends, man. Actually, no, we can't, but we can dap up or something. Maybe you can strap a belt around my waist and you can throw me up like you do those other girls. We can do like a collab video.
Now he can squat you.
I can balance.
He can put you on his shoulders.
That's also one of the things that I'll just talk about. Is that I don't really like. I mean, I'm allowed to say this, but I don't really like his content. I just think he knows what to do. You know, he's like lifting girls and shit.
Yeah. There's certain like tendencies. There's content that it's obviously to get views.
Which is totally fine. I just don't like that.
Exactly.
And I'm allowed to say I don't like it.
This content is targeted towards a certain like group of people that kind of just like the basic entertainment, little dopamine hit, and then keep scrolling. And he is very good at that. So obviously he's a businessman. It's a business decision. He's not actually like super hyped about benching girls on a bar. But from us, it's just not what we enjoy at all. Mm-hmm. So I mean,
I could say this one. Yeah. I could say this about Brad is that he's very good at staying relevant. He's he has mastered it, because if you look at all the other guys who are kind of in his era, which people that I didn't even know of until they were already out, because I was never in the industry. But like, I mean, I don't want to take shots at anybody, but I think there's a handful of guys who came up with him, and he's kind of the only. Him and a couple other people are like the only.
He's gotten names in with like Steve Will Do It and stuff.
Yeah, so he's really good at staying relevant. And I can give him creds to that. But
any other good ones?
Yeah, there's a few. Well, some guys asking about Vikal. Is Vikal going to sponsor athletes like Young LA does?
Yeah, we will. It's kind of hard not to step on Young LA's toes, because obviously I'm really good friends with Gary and I still love the brand and I'm still with the brand. So it's like Gary has been so supportive of Vikal since I started it. And even when I first joined Young LA, my only requirement was like, I don't want this to interfere with, like, I don't want 6 months down the line for you to tell me that you're not cool with Vikal, because that's what Gymshark did. And he's like, dude, it's totally fine. I want you to have your own thing. So he's been really supportive of that. He's given me advice even. And for someone, like, we're not really a competitor brand, and I don't think that really what we make is even competes with Young LA, because they do mostly like streetwear and we do mostly gym stuff, but still it's a clothing brand. And the fact that he would give me advice on how to help grow my clothing brand when he has his own really says a lot about him as a person. So I don't want to like step on his toes and sponsor people that are also sponsored by Young LA, which is really hard because Young LA sponsors a lot of people that I would want to sponsor. But right now, we're not even close to that stage yet. We basically sold out the last drop, which was a lot of items, and we didn't have any sponsored athletes besides you, kind of. But that was like because you'd helped so much with the brand that I gave you a code. But
what percentage of people do you think use the code?
Like a lot,
like
because
50?
It was
50%,
maybe more, because you were the only discount
code. You guys
code.
use my code. Thank you.
You were the only discount code, and then at the last minute, we were like, okay, let's make another discount code that's kind of just like a run-of-the-mill, like Vikal discount code. And I'm pretty sure yours got more code usages, even though we displayed our discount code on the website. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure we literally put it on the website, but people still use code Soosh. So, yeah, we do plan on sponsoring athletes, but we're just not at that level yet where it's even necessary.
Someone's asking, what did we think about D-Trend? Because we did stay a week with him.
He was really cool.
Yeah.
He was different than TikTok, obviously.
Yeah, 100%. I had a really good time with him.
Yeah.
I would say, if I'm going to be completely honest, I could tell when you meet somebody for the first time, and especially someone who, like, we are influencers, like, we're pretty decent sized names. So I could tell that at first he was a little just not comfortable, which is totally normal. He had his guard up a little bit, but as soon as probably day 2 or 3, maybe it was the day that we did the podcast and we had been drinking a little bit, and it totally I could totally see the person that he was. He didn't have his guard up anymore, and it was like a really good time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that,
and that's something that sucks though, that happens is.
Well, I was gonna say, I think that we don't walk around thinking I've got blah 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 followers. I know I don't walk around thinking I'm fucking James English. I'm the man, and you don't walk around thinking I'm Soosh, bro. You know. So to us, we're just normal people. So when we invite someone out that we want to collab with or just hang with, we don't really even think about how they might perceive it. But to them, I mean, even Weston, when Weston moved in or when we were just hanging out with him a lot, we were never thinking like, we're higher up and you're lower down. It was just like, you're our friend. We're not thinking about follower count. But to him, he was like, holy shit, this is Soosh and James, you know? And he brought that up to me when we had the house party, and he was like, it's just so crazy to be like hanging out with you guys. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you?
A lot of people say that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, bro, and we say this all the time. We're just normal people. And
yeah. But I can also empathize with that.
Yeah.
You know, because like I
was
remember
the same way with John. I was the same way with John.
And when I first met Dave, I walked out of his bathroom. I've probably told this story before. I walked into his house and he was showering, so I went and took a shower. And then when I walked out, he was just sitting there, and he was like, "Hey, what's up?" And in my head, I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like I've been watching this guy for so long, but I'm like, "Sup?" You know. But inside, I was like, "Holy shit!" But because he's not thinking I'm David Lade, you know, I'm like this big shot. He's just not like that at all. So it's kind of the same with us. It's like we don't walk around thinking like that. So when someone kind of has their guard up or when they feel like nervous being around us, to us, it's almost like weird. We're like, wait, what? Why are you doing that? But then we have to think like, this is how we would be if like, you know, The Rock invited us to hang out or some shit.
I was going to say that the way that you mentioned how we don't walk around like that, shout out his Instagram, Joey Bro. He came up to me 2 days ago at the gym, and I guess he had started a podcast, and he was like, "Hey, I shouted you out on the podcast. I clipped it, or he clipped it, but he didn't want to post it because he didn't want to seem like he wanted clout from me. But he told me about this clip that he had talked about on his podcast, and he was talking about us, and he was saying they were just talking about realism in the industry and if people are like actually genuine and shit like that. And this isn't to boast myself up, but Joey was like, you and I are really good about like saying what's up. And even that is just like, hey, what's up? Like, and just even that at the gym, I guess people take note of it. To us, it's normal. Like if I see you and I know you, I'm going to say what's up. But
dude, I get nervous at the gym. Sometimes I'm like, oh, what do I say?
Yeah. For him, it was really nice to hear that he took note of that. And he was like, yo, thank you for being like saying what's up and not thinking that because you have X amount of followers, you don't even want to talk to us and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how it is. We just met. We have a new friend. He's our neighbor. He lives like right down the road. His name is Osmi. He's been working on my car and stuff. And it's a similar situation there because he didn't know any of us. So it was really cool to know somebody or meet somebody that knew nothing about us, and he liked us for who we were, not because of this and that and followers and shit like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you meet someone outside of fitness, then it's different because they don't even know who you are, and then you get to know them, and then they ask about your socials, and they're like, oh shit, you've got X amount of followers, but at that point they already know who you are, so that doesn't change their view of you.
Mm-hmm. And it's just, honestly, that's partly why I like going out is because I see so many new people that don't necessarily work out. So they have no idea who I am. So I can just start fresh. And we were talking about that on the last podcast with my therapist because she has no idea who I am. And so it's just a new person that you can talk to because it's hard. Like my sister's a social worker, which is essentially just like a therapist. And sometimes I can't really even talk to her because she knows
who you are.
Yeah, she knows who I am as a person.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that my therapist doesn't know who I am as a person, but it's just good to be able to talk to someone different or meet someone new. So, yo, shout out Osmi. I know you're not listening because you don't watch our shit, but like, it's really cool to have friends that are outside of this Instagram shit. And I had people ask Weston, like, yo, how did you get in with them? How did you like get in their crew or whatever? And it's literally just because we liked him as a person, not because of that he was like chasing this, you know?
Yeah.
But someone like Joe, like LT. If you guys know Joe, he films all of Marco's videos, and he's actually helping me Saturday film. But someone like Joe, obviously he did come down here for content, but I don't think he talks about this a lot. He never imagined us being friends, you know? It's almost like he was just planning on taking photos of us and trying to get his name out there, but then it turns out he's a good friend of ours.
Yeah, and he actually posted on his story a few days ago, and he said, fun fact, when James English first announced Vikal, I DM'd him, whenever you're ready, I'm your guy. This was probably over a year ago before I even had any idea of quitting my job or moving to Texas. I was just a fan from New York. Once I met him, I deleted the message because I felt weird. LMAO. Fast forward to now, I shot every photo you see on the Vikal website, and James is a good friend of mine. And he never actually even told me that story. So when I saw that on his IG story, that was the first time I'd heard about that. And it's just like, I would have had no idea that he was a fan or even knew really who I was because he just played it cool.
Yeah.
But he had actually messaged me like a year prior.
And that's what's so, it's just a feel good feeling. You know, you feel good when something like that happens where it's unexpected and someone actually does fuck with you and you fuck with them. And it's just like organic. There's no DMs. There's no give or take. Like, hey, you giving me, it's not a transaction. Mm-hmm. It's just a genuine friendship. And I feel like that's kind of hard to do now, especially with us.
It is. A lot of stuff feels,
especially with females too.
Feels like a transaction just because it's like, you do this for me, I do this for you. Or
I post a video with you and you post a video with me or a picture or a shot or a story.
Can you get my TikTok? Because like I know people will watch it if you're in it. And I say, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. But it's just kind of what you get used to. Is people being like, get my TikTok. I've had that happen a few times, or just like asking me for, I don't know, just kind of playing some sort of angle. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. I don't know who I was talking to, but someone had said that they were out and someone asked for they weren't really engaged with them. I think he was trying to hit on this girl and it kind of went nowhere. And then she ended up like going back to him and like with his Instagram pulled up and being like, "Is this you?" And then it's like, obviously
All of a sudden she's interested.
all of a sudden she's interested. And I mean, that's with girls, it's kind of different than guys with friends because, you're making friends. But with girls, if you're just trying to like hook up or something, then, you could leverage that.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's hard to find a genuine connection. So I think honestly, and I'm not trying to be in a relationship, but if you were trying to be in a relationship, it's almost like you'd have to go and be a normal person. You know what I mean? And go, talk to a girl not in the fitness industry, doesn't know who you are. You don't pull up your socials. You give her your number or something.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been, dude.
I'd give her my second account, James Spanish.
She'd be like, "This guy's a fucking weirdo." Conspiracy theorist. Dude, this guy asks this question all the time. This is just like a funny question. Do you think there's more wheels in the world or doors?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I said doors.
Mean, the seats that we're sitting on
all have wheels.
Yeah, have like 5
and
or 6
every car has
them.
four, 6. Yeah. There's 18-wheelers.
But
like
then
shopping carts.
But think about office buildings.
Yeah,
all doors.
Exactly. But all those office buildings have rolling chairs.
Ah, that's true. Actually, no, that's very true. You have to think if there's one door to enter into like a room full of office cubicles, you've got maybe 100 chairs in there, each with 6 wheels on them. That's 600 wheels for one door per office building.
Yeah. So I said doors, but I think I'm gonna go with wheels.
I'm going with wheels.
It's honestly a good thinker question. Okay, so we can get into some relationship advice. If my girlfriend starts snapping a guy the day before we break up, then we get back together the next day, is it weird? Yeah.
The day before you break up?
Yeah, if my girlfriend starts snapping a guy the day before we break up, then we get together the next day, is it weird? Yeah.
Wait, get back together or get together?
It just says get back together.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, 100%. She was.
You can ignore the second half of that statement. The first half is it weird if my girl was snapping someone before we broke up?
She knew. Yeah. She knew that I don't know who broke up with who, but she knew that y'all were gonna break up. So everybody wants that secondary choice. It's human nature. It's human nature. Like everyone does it. We've all had our fair share of that. So it's like you want someone to fall back on. So she was Snapchatting that guy before because she knew that you guys were gonna, she knew that you guys were gonna break up. Talk about your party life. We already did pretty much. Yeah. So this is a question for me. I mentioned possibly stepping on stage in the next few years. It's kind of a joke because I don't think I ever really would, because even now I'm starting to think like all this blasting and shit is probably not for me. But if I did, it would probably be classic because I'm a pretty tall guy. So I feel like, and I have okay proportions, but I don't think I'm ever going to step on stage. It's more of a joke.
I feel like classic is going to start to get hard at 6'4", because I'm pretty sure the weight limit is like 275 or some shit. It's huge. Pretty heavy. Imagine you stage ready at like 260, 275, whatever the weight limit is.
I mean, that'd be sick. I just don't think I could do it. I don't think
it would just take a lot of gear, a lot of food.
I found out that the past 3 weeks I've actually been pinning 175 test.
Really?
Yeah, because I was doing my math wrong. Because I thought it was a 250 per ml, but it was 200. So I was doing less. I was doing 175 a week, but I just bumped it back up to 250. So gonna probably not make many gains, honestly. But I've been fucking with Anavar pre-workout. Like I said, I've been using D-Trend Anavar that he left here. Yeah, that's pretty good.
What do you think about Jay Cutler saying that he would completely cycle off even while he was competitive in the 2000s? He said he would do 10 weeks on, 10 weeks off everything. He wouldn't even cruise.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, like I told you last night, I don't know if I believe that because they're like, even guys who are established, I feel like they still have something to prove where it's like, I'm going to lie about this little thing because I want to say that I didn't need all that gear.
Yeah.
So I'm not calling him a liar. I find that really hard to believe.
He did say that he went up to 12 IUs of growth, which is a lot.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I don't know, maybe he's still like lying a little bit, who knows, but his off season, he said 500 tests, 600 EQ, and just ate like a shit ton of food. And then his prep was obviously, when he would prep, it would be like heavier on drugs, but the whole 10 weeks on, 10 weeks off, like those 10 weeks that you're off, you have zero testosterone in your body. Like you have no hormone circulating because you've crushed your natural production down to zero, and it doesn't just come right back as soon as you stop. It takes months. So I feel like he would just like lose his gains very quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that for me, cruising is 100% the best. I feel most normal when I'm like on 200.
Yeah, it's the healthiest route. Like, it's not. It sounds healthy to say, oh, I'm coming completely off everything for 10 weeks, but that's actually very unhealthy because at that point, you've already crushed your natural production down to zero. So if you come off everything, do you know how unhealthy it is for your body to have like zero hormones circulating at all? Like once you commit to blasting, I feel like you should commit to cruising as well. Cruise on a TRT level dose just so you can maintain like basic functions. Yeah. Like your dick still works. You can still sleep well. You're not like wildly emotional.
I don't believe him. That's why I don't believe him. I'm not saying you're a liar, Jay, but
I am saying you're a liar.
I'm just saying I don't believe. If that's what you did, then that's what you did. This person asked, I think summer shredding's coming up again.
Yeah.
So pretty soon the first. I thought it was in the fall, but I guess there's one.
I thought so. I think there's two. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's two, aren't there?
Yeah, there's two sets of two. So there's four, I think. There's like a June, July, and then October, September.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. Or September, October. I don't know, to be honest, but somebody says, Coach told me summer shredding is just a clout show and not to do it. Thoughts?
I mean, it is a clout show, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's a good way to get your name out there, especially if you win. You get an Alfleet sponsorship, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you do.
And you obviously, you get a lot of clout. So I don't think that it's a waste of a show.
Yeah, I mean, it would be fun for me to do. The only reason I wouldn't do it is because I'm already sponsored by Young LA, so I feel like they wouldn't let me win because I don't know, but I heard a couple of years back, you probably heard this too, pro bodybuilder, like some big fucking dude that was just way above everyone else, because you have to think summer shredding, these are mostly like amateurs competing, but this guy who was like a professional came in and clearly was just leagues above everyone else, and they didn't let him win. Yeah, because they were like, "You're ruining the whole point of the show."
And I think they need to. I think they should make it more apparent that, hey, this is for amateurs who just kind of want to step on stage. I think they should do kind of more take that route. So then, big bodybuilders aren't coming in there being like, "Oh, I'm about to fucking wipe this shit."
But you got to be if he's a pro, he knew what he was doing. Yeah. He knows the show. He was just doing that shit for ego.
Maybe he wanted the Alfleet sponsor, bro.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe.
We've been getting into cars a little bit. Well,
oh yeah, you asked me before if I got the Plaid, but I was in the middle of something else.
But yeah, he got the Plaid.
Yeah.
And that thing is absolutely ridiculous. Model S Plaid. Yes. It's a fucking roller coaster.
The Tesla Model S Plaid. And if you guys watch my content, you know that I've literally had dreams about that car. I've had dreams about driving it, and I've thought about buying it. I'm not really materialistic. I don't buy like a ton of designer stuff, mainly just shoes, because it's like I get my clothes for free from Young LA. So it's like I can splurge on shoes because I don't need to buy clothes. But besides that, I don't have like jewelry or anything like that. But cars, the Model S Plaid specifically, was like, it wasn't really about the material aspect of it, because it's not really a head turner. The car's not, right? It looks like a very nice car. It looks like a luxury
every time
sedan.
I see a Model S, I'm like, oh, is it a Plaid?
Yeah.
That's because I know you.
Yeah.
And I talked to you about it.
And it looks good. It does look like a very nice luxury sedan, but it does not look as fast as it is. So people don't see it and turn their heads and like, oh, that's a Tesla Model S.
I mean, no matter where you drive, you're driving the fastest car on the road.
Basically,
and no one knows that. Well, some people know that.
There's if you like get a stage 2 tune with like and get twin turbos installed on like a Lamborghini, you could beat it from a roll, but it would still be pretty close.
Bro, that's what because someone asked, ever think about getting another ST and completely modding it out? And I actually was thinking about it last week about getting like a beater car because I drive the Urus as a daily, and so sometimes it's kind of annoying if like it gets really dirty or something like that, or I have to take Milo and he's really muddy. So it's like, and I just put him in the mats and I have to wash out the mats. But I was thinking about getting another car, but I don't think I am. But if I do get another car, which won't be probably until next year, I'm going to get a Huracan, and I'm going to delete the rear bumper, and I'm going to install the turbos.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get the turbos. I think it's twin turbo on the back, and then the diffuser's deleted. Mm-hmm. And I want to like just mod the fuck out of that one. So yeah, I'm going to get another car and mod it, but it's not going to be like a beater, I don't think, because we have 4 cars here. 5. Weston's.
Yeah, technically I still have my other Tesla too, sitting out there.
Which you got to sell.
I know.
It's collecting dust out there.
I know it is. But would you ever consider getting like a smaller, like a 911 Turbo S? Like a really well handling
I would
little
do
car?
I just saw the Porsche, the
GT2?
GT3,
GT3 RS?
GT3, I think, but there's like 2 3s. It's like GT3 R3 or something like that, or GT RS3 or something. I don't know. I just saw it online and it looked fucking sick, but it's like $190,000. So at that point, I'm probably just gonna pay for a Huracan and like do what I want to that.
True. Yeah.
What did this person say? I just lost it. I was because you mentioned jewelry, and so I just been getting into watches. Cousin Crypto told me to get into watches back when we did that like first podcast, and I kind of just brushed it off. But I wish I listened to him, because now, like, dude, for some reason right now they are appreciating like fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. I put on my Snapchat story because I just wear this just because it's like, I like the all silver look, and I also wear stainless steel here, so I like the stainless steel look here. So I just wear this, but the AP that I bought, I could sell that right now, and I've just bought it like 3 weeks ago. I could sell it for like 15 to 20 profit, 1,000.
Really?
Yeah. If I sold it right now, and if I would have bought it back when Cousin told me to, I could probably be making like 40K, which is just nuts. I don't understand how watches are going so much. Like, they're just,
any watch experts?
I don't understand it.
Please explain.
I'm kind of just, it's like crypto. Like, I don't get it, but I am in it. So it's like,
yeah,
it's kind of ridiculous. I don't think people would pay that much for a watch.
I mean,
I did.
It's just because I guess they intentionally don't make a lot of them.
Yeah,
so then
that's what I've heard.
Limited edition.
Yeah, because if you try to go get a brand new Rolex, you have to get put on the wait list, and if you even get accepted to be on the wait list, it's 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, for a Rolex.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because my dad was trying to get one, and they said it was like a 5-year wait list, which is absolutely crazy. I don't even know. At that point, because everyone's so impulsive and everyone has all this money, they're like, fuck it, I'm just going to go buy one for, 30% over what it actually is.
Yeah.
So that is nuts. But
I mean, that's what I did with the Plaid, and that probably only would have been a 5 or 6 month wait. But the thing is, because of supply chain issues, I think there's a microchip shortage right now. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
And that's also why I think like a lot of gaming computers are going for so much, is because there's like a microchip shortage. And also a lot of people are buying like these nice ass chips for crypto mining. So it's really hard to get your hands on chips. And because of that, if I were to order this car brand new, it would have cost me like $2,000 less, but I would have had to wait 6 months. This one only had 360 miles on it or something.
Yeah, it was nothing.
Like basically nothing. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll just get it basically new, and I'll have it at my door in like a week. It's still so funny how that happened. It was supposed to be delivered on a Tuesday, and it ended up getting delivered Sunday morning.
And we were fucked up.
We'd gone out to Heart the night before. I got into bed at like 5 a.m. probably. And then at like 9:50 a.m., there's Soosh looming over my bed.
Yeah.
James, get up.
Dude, because I had woken up from Caleb, who hooked you up. And I had
Shout out Caleb, by the way. Caleb Canellas.
I had woken up from his phone call, and I'm still like drunk because we had just gone to bed, and I go open your room, and I'm like, I'm going to have to wake up this guy because I know he's not going to want to miss it. So I'm like,
thank you.
I'm like, bro, get the fuck up. Your car is here.
Yeah.
And then we just like went out there and filmed, and it was really fun.
I was zombified.
I was going to say that because you mentioned the microchip shortage, because Mercedes stopped making AMGs because of that reason, but they just started making them again. So I was thinking like the Mercedes GTS or something like that.
Oh, the GT. Oh, wait.
The one that's got the really long.
Yeah. That's the AMG GT. That's what they're calling it now. It used to be called like the GT63, but now I'm pretty sure they're just calling it the GT.
That thing is fucking fire. Also, like
that thing looks sick.
The GLEs, the AMG GLE 63S is fucking crazy. So just all sorts of cars from Mercedes are coming back. But I wanted to say that I sent you that thing, the big cargo ship that had lost 4,000. There was a cargo ship in
4,000?
Yeah, 4,000 Porsche,
Lamborghini,
and like
Volkswagen,
and I think Audi. They all got like just
4,000 total.
Yeah, cars, and they burned up.
If there's Lambos on there,
no, there were.
If you assume if the average price was like $100K times 4,000, that's like $400 million worth of cars.
Dude, it was burning up, and it burned up 3 weeks ago, and it actually just sunk like a week ago. So it took 2 weeks for.
Were they able to like get any of the cars off?
I have no idea. I know
it.
they cleared the crew. They got the crew, but I don't know if any of the cars survived.
How would they even? Yeah,
dude, imagine you were like waiting a year because you placed an order on a car, and it just boom, fucking destroyed. But I was gonna say that Lamborghini is no longer, as of right now, selling cars to Russia. And I just saw,
really?
Yeah, they posted about it. They said we're not going to be sending cars to Russia. McDonald's closed down all their McDonald's in Russia.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Because of what's going on. I'm sure you guys know like the whole Russia invading Ukraine thing.
The thing is, everyone knows about it, and like I know of it, and obviously I've once they actually invaded, I watched a bunch of news on it, but there's so many different skews and ways that it gets spun and things that you don't know about. So you assume one thing and then you find out, oh, this actually happened. And then it's like, oh, I was wrong about this. So that's why a lot of people have asked me to get on the MogCast, because obviously we've chatted up political stuff, conspiracy stuff a number of times. But the reason I've kind of been holding off is because I really don't want to speak too soon.
I don't really know anything about it, to be honest. I just know that there's this one Ukrainian pilot, the Ghost of Kyiv.
Yeah, Kiev or whatever.
And he's going around fucking all them up in the air.
And even that was like, then there was...
Is that really true?
Yeah, then there's news.
That could just be Ukrainian propaganda.
It could be. That's the thing, bro. That's really why I've been staying, like I've been on the sidelines, is because I view everything now when it comes to politics through like a lens of, is this propaganda or not?
Yeah.
Because it's so hard to get to the actual root of something without any propaganda, because there's always going to be, like, obviously it's going to be very hard to get an unbiased view of Russia if you're watching US news. Like, imagine going to Russia and watching Russian news about the US. They would be you'd be like, what the fuck? That's not true. I live there. But they just like make shit up, and people would like to think that it doesn't happen here too, but it happens just as much over here. So it's like, even with independent journalists, there's kind of just this hailstorm of information coming out of Ukraine and Russia that all conflicts with each other. Like, I'm not sure if you saw, Russia admitted that like 400 something Russian soldiers have died so far. And then Ukraine's official numbers were that over 4,000 Russian soldiers died.
Mm-hmm.
And the U.S. is on Ukraine's side, so the U.S. is going to report over 4,000 Russian soldiers have died, But how do you know that Russia's side isn't true?
Dude, if you go and watch, I've watched some of the stuff. It's literally like it's fucking World War One, bro. Like they got trenches.
I know.
It literally looks like World War One, but except with
very high tech shit now.
Yeah, and that's so nuts to me. It's like they say history repeats itself, and it's like, bro,
yeah,
that shit is insane. This is more of a question for me, and a lot of people have been saying my skin looks really good, so I appreciate you guys saying that. But
I gotta get on Accutane, man.
Dude, I don't know if you want to, because I just okay, so I ran Accutane for like 5 months. And so what happened, if you guys are thinking about Accutane, do it right. Go to your dermatologist. So I go to my derm, and they give you like these boxes of Accutane, right? And so I was taking them, and I ended up having like 3 or 4 extra boxes, and these boxes carry 10 30 milligram.
Mm-hmm.
Or so 20 30 milligram. So what is that? Fucking
how many boxes do you have?
3.
So 60?
Yeah, so
or 80?
So 800 milligrams, right?
I don't know, but sure.
Okay, a shit ton of
80 pills.
Yeah, 80 pills at 30 milligrams. So that's a lot.
2,400, I think.
And
something like that.
So I had that.
Check my math.
I had that left over. So that's just from me traveling and not taking it, or me forgetting to take it. So I go to the derm, and they're like, oh, your skin looks really good. Like, no need to take it anymore, because they were under the impression that I had taken every single one of my pills. So I didn't actually have the cumulative dose of that I was supposed to for my weight. So, and I was kind of like, well, my skin looks good. Fuck it. I'm not going to take it. And then recently, probably a month ago, I started like breaking out a little bit, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck's going on? Because I was, that was when I was coming off all the gear. So I was like, this shouldn't be happening. And I started breaking out with a little bit of cystic. So I started taking the Accutane again. So I'm actually back on it. I've been on it for
I didn't know that.
I've been on it for a week and a half, but I'm just taking 30 milligrams a day versus my prescribed dose was 90.
Okay.
And dose depends on your weight and all of that. So that's not instruction for you how much you should take. But I'm just taking one a day. So 30 instead of 90. And it's actually been working. In a week and a half, I've already seen a little bit of a difference. And I've also been using this like topical
Retin-A.
Like, yeah, but it's lower than Retin-A. It's a different one that you can actually just buy at the store.
Oh, it's called Differin, right?
Yeah, Differin gel.
Yeah.
So you guys can go, if you struggle with acne and you don't want to go the Accutane route, try that. It's not as strong as Retin-A, and Retin-A you also need a prescription, but you can get Differin at your store at like like a CVS or something, and just like apply it. I did it every other day.
I would do Retin-A in a heartbeat, but
it's your back.
It's my back, so I would need like an applicator brush, and I don't think that really works that well.
Dude, the problem with you is I feel like if you go to the derm and you like take off your shirt to show your back, they're gonna be like, all right, this guy's fucking sauced. And I'm pretty sure that if they know you're on gear, they can't give it to you, because they're like, you're doing this to yourself type of thing.
Really?
Because that's what I
but
heard.
Isn't it just my word against, if I'm just like, no, I'm not, I'm just fucking jacked?
Because that's, I mean, not saying that I'm big as you, but that's what I did. I just told them, no, I'm not. Because they asked me.
I'm pretty sure I can get Accutane with amino. I'm pretty sure they sell, it's called like isotretinoin, because that's the
I haven't tried it.
name.
I haven't tried it, so I wouldn't know if it's legit.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would assume.
Because people ask me, like, is amino stuff legit? And the thing is, I don't really know, because I haven't tried like a lot of their stuff. I've just tried Melanotan, TB, BBC, a few other things. And I know that the MK677 made me very hungry, and the Melanotan made me very nauseous and facial flushing, and also made me extremely tan. So I assume if like the products that I have tried have been good, I assume the other ones are good too. But seriously, there's no like guarantee on it.
Dude, please be careful if y'all gonna get Accutane from them, or just in general, and you're not doing it through a dermatologist.
Yeah, that is a risky fucking business.
It is, bro. It is literally worse than any fucking steroid for you with your organs. Like, it'll tear up your liver and your kidney. So make sure you got a ton of Tudcut and NAC, like supplements for that, and milk thistle. Yeah, make sure you're just taking a shit ton of that, because it'll really fuck you up, and it's nothing to fuck around with. But yeah, I've already noticed. It's been a week and a half. I've already noticed I'm starting to get chapped lips again.
Really?
And my elbows are starting to creak.
Oh, fuck.
So it'll really dry you out, which, sucks. But I wanted to hop back on. But I'm not doing anything for my scars. I don't really, like, the scars are annoying, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not going to fucking derma roll and all that. It doesn't bother me that much. But maybe if it did, I would get into that.
I'm going to start using minoxidil for my hair.
Yeah, a lot of people are asking about hair loss.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid using that just because it's kind of a lifelong commitment. Not that it's bad for you, but it's just like anything that's a lifelong commitment is kind of like, fuck, do I really want to do this? But yeah, my hair is starting to fall out. So I would rather have a lifelong commitment of rubbing that shit on my head.
Yeah.
Than
and also RU as well. I don't think you're using that.
I'm not using RU, but I don't think it's like it's pretty effective, but it's not that effective. It's not like it would prevent all hair loss.
For some reason, I've been shedding. Maybe it could be because it's summer. Like, you know how you shed in the
yeah.
Maybe, but I've been shedding a lot, and it was when I was off. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? So I started ramping back up the RU, spraying in my hair every night.
Where do you get the RU?
I got it from, I don't know if I should say.
Okay, then don't.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But because I don't think Amino has RU.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I would have gotten some by now.
Yeah, but yeah, so I've been ramping that up, and I think it's doing better. It's like I don't get the receding. Like my hairline's pretty strong.
Mine doesn't. It hasn't really receded. I've always just had a big forehead, I guess.
Yeah.
But mine hasn't receded. But the actual hair itself is like thinning out, and I can feel it. Like when I run my hand through my hair, there's not as much resistance on my hand.
Wait, no homo.
Yeah. How's mine?
I'm trying to like imagine if I had short hair like that. Because every time I get a haircut, they're like, "Yo, your hair's really thick."
It's mainly when I shower, so my hair is wet. So obviously, it's all clumping together, and I can see my scalp very easily. Bro.
That is the worst when you run your hands through the shower and you have shampoo in your hair. And
that and all the hair comes out. But then after I shower and I look in the mirror, since all the hair is clumping together, I can see how thin it is, and I can like see all these spots on my scalp, and I'm like, "Oh fuck." I've been taking finasteride, but I guess it's just not enough.
Why are we back on the Nick?
I don't know. It's a crutch.
Everything's
it's really
crutch.
It's so like neither here nor there with Nick. Like usually I go all day. Usually I go up until after I lift before I hit it for the first time each day. And I don't know why. It's just like I don't really crave it until after I lift. And then after I lift, maybe it's because I want to relax or whatever. That's when I start hitting it. But then also for the podcast, just because we're talking a lot,
something to do.
It like keeps you kind of sharp in a way.
Dude, the problem with me is that I was hitting it. I quit it, and then I was hitting it every time I would go out. So I would just go buy one because when you're drinking and stuff, it is really stimulating while you're drinking. It feels really, it like feels nice.
Mm-hmm.
But then one morning I didn't throw it out. Usually I would throw it out when I'm like leaving, and in the morning it was sitting there, and I hit it sober. Because usually if I was drunk, I could hit it and then not think about it. But I hit it sober. And, dude, instantly I was like, fuck. And I just got hooked back on. And ever since, I've been ripping it again. But I haven't gotten to the point where it's making me feel like shit.
Yeah.
Because usually, like 3-4 months in of ripping it every single day, I'll rip it. And then I feel like shit. And it hasn't gotten to that point. So maybe when it does, I'll kick it again.
Yeah.
And try to see if I can stay off. But, yeah, I think...
That's basically it. We're running out of storage on this card too.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yo, by the way, people are asking about these shorts. These are coming next month, so April 15th, I think it is. Also, look at my legs. I have not trained. I don't know if you guys can see, but I haven't trained them in probably like 6 weeks, and they're just atrophied. Yeah, they're atrophied. So we'll cross that bridge when it comes there. But I almost like having littler legs because my quads get so dominant, so they look goofy.
Yeah.
In shorts, but now because everything else is smaller, like I have small hamstrings, so I have big quads. So now that everything's small, it's all proportioned now, and so I almost like the look better.
Yeah. Or when you get back into legs, only train your hamstrings.
Yeah, seriously.
Never train your quads.
Yeah, but I feel like every time I do squats or anything, my quads just take over.
Yeah. Well, that's basically it. We're going to go have a meal and head to the gym now. So thank you guys very much if you made it this far.
I really hope that camera worked.
Yeah, I really hope so too. I'm going to be so sad if it didn't. But
yeah, drop a comment. We almost got Weston on here, and he is on prep, so it's, he's taking a toll.
I've seen some Weston slander recently, being like he's boring, he's this, he's that. Guys, the reason Weston has been boring or, rude or low energy is because he is like 3 weeks out right now and he has been suffering. Like we live with this guy. Every time he comes into the kitchen, he's suffering.
Yeah.
Like it's really hard for him to be on this low calories.
Once he comes back, he'll be able to tell like his stories, because I know he's got a few.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some stuff. So
yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
I think that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in on this week's. This was kind of just like a catch up episode. I really hope you enjoy it. I know we talked about the drugs for like 45 almost or an hour, but that was like a come to Jesus moment.
No, it was a good talk.
But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Oh, comment what was your favorite part, just to boost the algo. And I also like when the comments almost become a Reddit thread. Because people start replying and they're talking about their experiences.
Yeah.
So if you engage on the comments, bro, seriously.
Yes.
Oh, and also the last podcast, you guys are fucking blowing it up. So I appreciate you guys on that one.
Got like 100K views in 5 days. It was fucking insane.
Yeah. So shout out to D-Tram for that one.
Yeah. All right.
We're gonna call it
thank
here.
you very much, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.